Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Hot Pot Podcast. I'm joined today by Hawa and by Dr. Ahmed, both from London. We've all already seen Hawa before, but Dr. Ahmed is a completely new face and new voice on Dents of Insta. So a big welcome to you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Jabir. And hi, Hawa. Nice to see you.
Hi guys, I'm so
Yeah,
excited
we're well acquainted with Hawa, so yeah.
Some
Um,
old news.
Yeah, we want the new news. So Ahmed has obviously, joined us for the first time, which is great. We like to
I've been a
see.
great follower, though, of all the content and all the lives and all the good stuff on your page. So I'm a big fan, although it's my first time here, but everything you're doing is great.
Yeah, thank you, man. So yeah, I think things are changing, right? We're no longer doing the live so much. This is a bit more casual, coffee with friends almost. The way we're gonna go about things today, which I think is a bit more of a cool idea. It's a bit more of a way to get to know everyone. So for everyone listening, we have done no prep. We have done almost no idea of what the topics are going to be. We're just going to chat. We're going to see how
Literally
things are
zero.
going, and we're going to see where things lead us because I think that's the best way to get to know someone, and that's what social media is all about.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So Ahmed, you're obviously not from around here because you came a little bit later on in your life. I think both me and Hawa were born in the UK, right? Whereas you moved here when you were a bit older, right? How has
Yes,
that been
that's
for you?
right. So I moved here when I was 16. I was living in Jordan prior to that. I'm originally from Iraq and lived in Jordan for about 4 years prior to moving to the UK. And yeah, I've been here for 11 years actually, which when I say that, it sounds like a long time, but to be honest, it feels like only yesterday. So yeah, so I moved here to do A-levels first of all, a couple of years, and then thought, you know what, I just gained the um, living in the West for a bit experience, and then go back to Jordan. I didn't really intend to stay here long term, but one thing led to another. And seriously, yes, I applied to dental school, got in, and then I thought, okay, maybe I'll do VT and see where that takes me. And did VT and then DCT, and then here I am, and it seems like
Now
I'm
we
not
have
to
you
leave.
forever.
Yeah, you're stuck here now, right?
I
So
am stuck here, I think. Yeah, and I like it. It's great. It feels like home now, to be honest. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're in London, so you've got a super multicultural kind of vibe going there, like a very metropolitan sort of area. It's too fast for me. I've said this so many times. London is like it does my head in because I'm a country, not
Yeah.
quite country boy. We live in a small town in the north, so like
Right.
the pace of London is like it hits you in the face as soon as you get out there.
Yeah.
So I remember I came down to visit my cousins a while back, probably 2 years ago, and I just finished my exams, and I was really happy I'd passed. My grandparents were in town, so I thought, what, I better get down to London and we'll see what's going on. And I kid you not, I got off the train from Newcastle, and I'm going through, the barrier at King's Cross that goes out onto,
Yeah.
the main sort of forecourt on the outside bit, and you've got the bit where you put your tickets in. I kid you
Yeah.
not, an old lady in her 70s kicked me to get in front. Kicked me. I was like,
Wow.
wow,
That's just
do I
bad
just
luck,
get back
Jimmy.
on this train and go back home? Because this is too much.
Yeah, you see, like, it's what you're used to, I guess. I mean, I am quite immune to all the fast pace of life here, I guess, even traffic. And when people talk about commutes, and if they're in a small town and they regard a 30-minute journey or a 45-minute journey as a long commute to work or to go to see a friend, I just look at them and think, wow, like this is really something you guys are not used to. But I guess it's what you're used to, yeah. So even if I were to probably relocate and go somewhere quiet and, very green, I'd probably feel a bit different. But you get used to anything, I guess.
Yeah, I think I had the option of coming to London, to King's
Yeah.
College, and
Oh, brilliant.
I was like,
I don't
I
like
can't
King's
do
College,
it.
sorry,
I
from
couldn't, I
Bath,
couldn't
it's a
do
bit
it. I
biased.
couldn't do it. Um, But yeah, how have things been going for you? It's been a couple of weeks since I caught up with you, actually, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. I think we definitely adapt to our surroundings. Like, look at us all adapting to sitting at home. Although that's driving me absolutely insane at this point. But yeah, just waiting eagerly to get back to normal. I just want normality back in my life.
Yeah, the trick is to get a really good chair. As you can see, I'm set now. I can easily not move from this all day. I don't know if that's a guy
I'm
thing.
on the floor right now, so I definitely need to invest in a good chair.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a guy thing that we're very, very like capable of just sitting down all day and doing nothing and like not feeling like bad about it at all.
I don't feel bad about it in the moment, but I don't know, like later on I do sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something different tomorrow, and then the same thing rewinds, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, it's one of those things,
Your
you like...
sleeping pattern.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say, especially since once you've messed up your sleeping pattern, that's it. There's just a vicious cycle of sleeping late, waking up late. And
Yeah, once the kind of Ramadan hit, I think it was game over for my sleeping pattern. It's not recovered since. I'm still sleeping at 3-ish. Without even wanting to. I'm like, I'd like to sleep earlier, but it's not going to happen, is it really? Let's be honest about it. Unless I go back to work full time, which looks like it's going to be quite a while off. I'm going to be...
How many days are you doing now, Jabir?
I'm not at the moment, so
Okay.
We've got a couple of older people in the house, so I've said I'll hold fire until it's a bit less risky. But
Makes sense.
the guys are working at the moment, and they've got a decent system actually, so it's not too bad for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got back to it a couple of weeks ago or more even. I'm only doing 3 days right now, and to be honest, having a little bit of fine tuning to your life or the way that your pattern works, and although it's a complete different system to what we're used to, and it's what they're calling the new norm, but it still feels good to be back. Besides the the hot PPE and everything else, and for the guys, I don't know how you feel about taking your beard off, but for me this is like a very big nightmare, which I am still to date not coming to terms with, but at some point I will have to, I guess, because I've not done any IGPs yet, so basically this is something that is still on the hold. Yeah.
I was going to say, actually, I was like, I know you were stressing about that. You haven't actually had it done. We can see your beard.
Not yet, but we'll have
Everyone
to.
appreciate that beard.
Yeah, appreciate it. That's why I agreed to this, by the way. Otherwise, I would have just been hiding in my room.
While it's still here.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing is, you could take it off, the beard, and then you could go in, get this fit testing done, and still fail. And then you'd be like, bro, what have I done? And I don't even have the fit test pass to show for it.
Absolutely, and I've actually seen people's stories passing with the beard on, and every time I see this, I just like forward the story to my boss and be like, here you go, another one. So I've just decided, actually on the day of the fit test, I'm going to go in with my beard on, like that. I'm going to have to fade it, but what I'll do is take my razors with me, and I'll just take it down one step at a time. So I'll leave a good initially if I had to, and then I'll have the test done. I'm happy to stay with the tester all day and get that disgusting thing in my mouth, but I just don't want to really just go for it. And then, like you said, we fell at the end of all that. I saw you had your test done, didn't you?
Me, yeah, I had the test done, but then I decided, obviously, the next day that I wasn't going to work anyway. So I let it grow back out because I didn't feel it. Felt horrible being clean shaven. Although you could see, your jawline come out quite nicely and stuff. Right after fasting, so you're a little bit more trim. But it's like you feel like a 5-year-old child, right, when it comes off, and it's not a nice. It's not a nice place to be, man.
No. To be fair, Jabir, you've done quite well. Your beard is fully back in action.
It is. Yeah,
this is trimmed. I've trimmed as well, bro. And sis.
Amazing.
Okay, no need to show off.
No need to show. How you're so lucky you don't have to go through any of this or think about any of that stuff.
I'm actually getting a fit test done, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's just I'm quite claustrophobic. So I'm a little bit nervous about actually having it done, like with the hood on and all of that business. So yeah, hopefully it'll be fine. But
I mean,
I'm
that makes sense because you need so much space in your room. You haven't got a chair.
Sorry, it took me a while to take that.
I know, I was thinking, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm lucky. I have lots of room around me. I'm feeling good. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. You work in Rabia's practice, right?
That's right, yeah. So I do 3 days a week there. It's brilliant. It's a great team. I've known Rabia and Ahmed since university, so we all went to Barts. That's why I was saying earlier that I like Barts. I'm biased like that. And Ahmed was in my year, so and Rabia was just a few years above. And it's great to be working with people you've got a very long-term friendship with, and we share the same ethos about everything really in dentistry, and we really get on. It's like going to see family really at work, to be honest. It's a very good team. It's a great vibe. You never feel like you're going to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been seeing patients, and it's very different, like I said to you. So the number of patients you see in a day is completely different. It's very chilled out. It reminds me so much of working in hospital. So prior to this year, this was my first year as an associate, by the way. So before that, I did a couple of years in hospitals as DST1 and DST2. And this new experience and practice reminds me so much of actually being in hospital, because it's the same number of patients you see in a session, so 4 maximum. You have so much time in between to write your notes, to even sit the patient and talk to them, and reflect with your team, talk to your nurses. It's really good in that sense. And actually, in between, you'd have to do all your letters and do your check your recordings and all that. So the same thing here. We've got a phone with a list of patients I've got to go through and call throughout the day, which I'm having to do in between patients. So it's very much like a hospital setup or vibe, I would say, right now. Even with the donning and doffing, which is like going into to do a minor oral surgery or going into this session, you kind of like dress up outside and then go in. It's very much like that. For now, it's working, I would say. It's nice to just get a change from sitting at home.
Yeah, I think I dropped out for about 2 seconds there, but I caught like most of what you were saying. I think that's really interesting though. I don't know if you've heard much about like slow dentistry movement. I know we don't want to talk much about dentistry, so we'll move on really quickly after this. But it's like the same thing. You only
I'll
see
let
about
Hawa
5
answer
patients
that.
a day
What is it?
in a session. Am I back?
Hello? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you. I don't think I've stopped hearing you at any point.
Oh, right, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it dropped out, but yeah, I was just saying like it sounds really interesting that you're seeing less patients and it's more like a hospital in
Yeah.
terms of the numbers, because you do have like the slow dentistry movement where you just slow everything down and you take your time with things. So I'm hoping that's kind of the way things go, because I like a stress-free life, as you can imagine. So that would be perfect for me.
Yeah. No, who doesn't? I mean, it's great. Yeah, I enjoy it, to be honest. Everyone gets the deserved time they need to have with the dentist as well. I think it's great. It's really good. And if you actually go into work as well and look at who's around you in terms of the team, everyone looks more relaxed than what they used to look like when we had to see so many patients and get through so much in a day. And that is nurses, other dentists included, even reception staff, because the waiting areas are no longer full of people. The waiting areas are literally just preparation stations for the patient to come in and they get asked to leave their belongings in a box and do certain things there. So the practice is very chilled, I would say, which is what you need, which is especially around these times when everything else isn't chilled. So I'm quite grateful for that. Yeah.
You don't hate that vibe, just.
I don't hate that vibe. It reminds me of hospitals. Honestly, like I said, it feels like I'm still in hospital and it's fake.
Yeah. How are things going with your practice? Have they asked you to come back in, or what's going on there?
Everyone's really eager for me to get back. In fact, sooner the better. I've kind of just held it off a little bit because I need to get my fit testing done, and all of that kind of thing. So I just want to be fully prepared before I do go back. I think in terms of the way that it's gone to slower dentistry and all that, for me, I'm quite lucky that majority of in fact, 100% of my work is private anyway. So I've always really had that, where I've had that freedom of having time with my patients, and nothing's really rushed. My surgery is super chill when people come in, like the lights are off, and we trialed that just before lockdown, just using the dental chair light, and I actually love it. If you guys haven't tried it, honestly, you should try it. It's so nice.
Really? Happy to see.
Yeah, honestly, it's just so chilled. Like, you can still see, I have the TV, which gives quite a lot of light, and then the actual dental chair light, but not the main kind of white.
Was there a patient there, or were you just lying in the chair watching TV?
I mean,
just
a bit
Instagramming,
of both,
probably, isn't it?
On Instagram with patients. I've actually treated patients for a whole day, for a whole week, really without the light, and everyone's loved it. They've said it's much more chilled. So yeah, I love that kind of vibe of working as well.
Yeah, I can imagine that. It's like when you are, I don't know if you're revising or something, when you're back in university and stuff, and the rest of the lights on, but your desk lights on, so you've got that kind of that darkness behind you, and just what you're looking at is illuminated. So I don't know if that's part of maybe what you're talking about. It sounds quite interesting though.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Try it out. It's good.
Last time we spoke, we were talking mainly about food. So I want to know what's been going on. Have you learned some new recipes for us all to learn about? I've seen some stories, so I'm expecting some big news here.
I'm expecting some deliveries.
No. Well, the latest thing I did, I think, was baklava, and yeah, it actually came out really good. I was super impressed. But yeah, it's been the best time to try all sorts of different stuff, and it's been really good. Yeah. What have you guys been making? Anything new?
Steak.
I'll let you answer that.
Ahmed's been getting takeout for the whole lockdown.
Yeah, I haven't changed. Lockdown hasn't changed me much, really, except instead of taking the takeouts from restaurants, I take them from my brother's house. but yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
The last thing I saw you made was the spaghetti and meatballs. Is that still the case? Is that the latest thing you've made about 2 months ago?
Yeah. 2 months ago.
I think I have the same thing. It's just on repeat. That's the only thing I can make. Plus a few other things.
Yeah. I think it has been a good opportunity to try some new things, but you always go back to that oh, you know what? I just want some grilled chicken wings from this takeaway.
Yeah.
So I have the same takeaway maybe twice a week. If I'm going for a takeaway, then there's 2 places I'm getting something from, and I kind of rotate between those, and then the rest of the time is whatever we're making at home. My brothers like to be a bit more adventurous with the food when they're cooking and stuff, so we get a few bits and pieces from them. My brother, he's a really good chef actually, so he makes all this interesting fusiony Chinese, Indian food and mad stuff. Sometimes you're just what's this? Tastes alright though.
You're lucky to have him. That's good.
Has he got an Instagram page?
He has, but he doesn't really post the food. I don't really know what he posts. Just edgy pictures of random stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting because I'm sure that the quality of food that I've eaten since lockdown and before lockdown has gone up, which
Yeah, definitely.
just due to the time you have to then like everyone to prepare. Obviously, you have days where no one can be bothered now, so you maybe just get like a takeaway. But when you actually go ahead and do it, then you can get some pretty nice stuff going.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, kind of at first, I was like, oh no, no one's having a takeaway. We can't eat out from outside the house. And then as time has kind of gone on, we've all become a bit more lax, and we're like, no, we're getting a takeout.
We did something weird. We were like, if we got a takeout for the first month and a half, almost 2 months of lockdown, it went back in the oven just to kill anything that was on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that actually. I know quite a few relatives that do that as well. Yeah, it just makes you feel a bit better about it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do you guys
we were
do,
washing
like,
all the
washing
grocery
of
boxes and
groceries?
stuff. Like whatever came through the door got washed.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know if
I
they were just a
heard
bit
that
crazy.
afterwards that there wasn't much kind of clinical evidence to say that that needs to be done.
I'm not gonna lie, I stopped doing that maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I've just been bringing everything straight into the fridge.
I'm not gonna lie, we never did that. We just.
I
went
did
for it.
do that initially. I think, yeah, I did do that. I was just getting quite influenced by all what I was watching on social media, and also at my brother's house, his wife was doing all of that stuff. So I just felt a little bit, like if I wasn't going to do that, then I'm not keeping up with the trend right now. So, so I did it, but it didn't last a very long time. It was very time consuming, and it made you almost not want to go to the shops to get food. So it was just really annoying. Yeah.
Not that you needed any more of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think it's a bit of a crazy one. We've all got into some weird habits during lockdown, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's very weird. I mean, I said yesterday in the pod that we did with the two girls, well, I've just been playing loads of COD, and I hadn't played I don't think I played 10 years. I'd played COD. I had a couple of goes at some other games in that time, but like the obsession that everyone's got with it now is like on another level. Have you been playing, Ahmed?
No, the only different thing that I have done, I would say, during lockdown was I just started doing loads of TikToks, really, which I never used to even. I never even had an account before, but it was one of the weirdest things that I developed a passion for. So, but they're all private. I haven't shared them.
Oh, I'm just about to search you.
Oh. No, you're not gonna
I
find
can vouch for Ahmed's TikToks. They're very entertaining.
They are. The thing is, it's non-dental stuff, and it's very much like voiceovers of very famous movies or songs, and most of them are in Arabic as well. So, like, yeah, I do them, and then we have a family group, so we were very active on it during lockdown, even more than every other day. And we were doing loads of FaceTime group calls, and from time to time, I would just send them. Not time to time, really. I'm lying. Probably 5 or 6 a day.
Every day, like 5 times a day at least.
Yeah, I would send them my TikToks, and everyone is just entertained, and it was keeping everyone happy. That's the only different thing that I have done during lockdown, but I haven't really done a TikTok in a while now. It's been at least a month or so. Yeah.
I think
everything
all you
else
have to do is send us a TikTok, which is introducing yourself, and I'm going to put it on Dents of Insta. We'll take you to number one post in the UK or whatever. I don't know whatever it's called. Number one trending post.
I'll think about that. Have you got a TikTok account then?
I have. I did like 3 or 4 before lockdown, and then I deleted 3 or 4 that were already on there because I didn't like them. And then one did okay, and then the rest were just like, I was like, oh, this is going to be really good, and then it just flopped, and I was like, this is stupid.
It is. It's like luck, yeah, as well. But it's so addictive. Even if I'm not making a TikTok, I used to find myself really scrolling through and searching and watching other people's TikToks, and then in the end, I'm like, wow, this was just a complete. Not time wasting, I guess. At the time I was having fun and there was nothing else to do, but yeah,
it's like a whole nother world in TikTok. I never thought I'd be the one to download TikTok of all things, and I did. I never made an account, but honestly, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm still scrolling through stupid TikToks.
Yeah,
That's why I
there's
can't
so many just
sleep at
like weird things that people are doing on there. Just pointing at random the weirdest ones for me, I don't know if you've seen the ones where like you're getting some dentists who are explaining, I don't know, perio. And there's just
Yeah.
like random perio facts coming up on the screen. But they're just doing
Yeah.
some mad dance in the background. It's got nothing to do with the perio. It's just some guy or girl just going absolutely mental, like jumping around and whatever. And then just some
I
random
enjoy these.
perio
I'm
facts. I'm
not
just
gonna
like, what
lie.
is this?
I
I'm not
enjoy
gonna
that.
lie,
Sometimes I even consider making one.
I don't think dentistry belongs on TikTok. You should just do funny stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, I think the one that I did really well with mine was that Pakistani check thing that went around like quite a while back in like February or March. That one did quite well for me, but then there was just loads of people having like arguments in the comments over whether I was Pakistani enough for them. And I was like, okay, cool.
I think we probably all have that in common where nobody believes where we're actually from.
I think everyone can tell I am fresh and I am not. I'm Arab. It's just you and Javier probably.
But yeah, no, I
No
mean,
one
I
ever
told you
believes
about this the
me.
other day. How like, my friend is convinced you're Kurdish,
Oh,
absolutely
you know what?
convinced.
The
And I'm
amount
just
of
like,
people that are convinced that I'm Arab, honestly, is unreal.
I think, yeah, this is what I thought initially as well. Like Kurdish or Persian or Turkish is very much
Yeah.
like, yeah, definitely. And then when you were telling me not, I was like, no, you need to check. This is not
I
right.
know. Like, how do I prove myself here?
you need to go to
Like, I'm
ancestry.com and do that
Yeah.
whole thing.
I know, I need to do one of those DNA tests.
Yeah, it'll be cool to find out.
Yeah.
It's
get
gonna
the
come back as like
result.
Russian or something, though, and it's something really
Yeah,
weird.
it's so stupid. It'd be
Um,
interesting to know if I have any Arab in me, actually.
Have you guys been to Jordan, any of you?
No, but I really want to go to Petra.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I only went, by the way, 3 years ago because one of my friends from England who came to visit me wanted to go. It's like really funny when you live somewhere, you
And you don't
actually
do the tourist
don't
things.
do the touristy things because you
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's just there, it's fine, I can go whenever. And you actually never end up going. So
Yeah.
it was really good. Yeah, it's definitely worth visiting. So
Yeah, that's definitely on my list of places to go for sure.
Yeah, I've not been either actually. I've been quite a few places, but my family's in Kuwait, so we go there
interesting.
quite often. I was
Nice.
supposed to be going just before, well, just after UDA Day. I was supposed to go about that time, but
Yeah.
we got locked down, so I didn't
Yeah.
end up going. But we tend to go like Dubai because there's family there, so wherever we've got family, we'll end up going. But I've not been to, sorry, I've not been to Jordan or anything around kind of Mediterranean in a long while. But there's so many like really cool places to go there. I think it's definitely on the list as long as things are all looking nice and safe. Yeah, virus and otherwise.
Yeah.
No, I hope we can start going on holiday soon. I'm dying to go travelling.
What's on your list, Hawa?
My first place on my list is Tokyo. I'm desperate to go to Tokyo, especially in cherry blossom season, and just eat my way through all the sushi that I can find and wagyu. Yeah, so that's top of my list, I think.
I'm not much of a sushi guy, to be honest.
Me neither. Thank you.
I can
love
have it. Like if it's
Honestly,
there and
I just
like
think you have to
we're
try-
going sushi, I'll have some sushi. But I'm not gonna be the guy who's deciding to go somewhere. I'm not gonna be saying, "Oh, you know what? I really fancy some raw fish today."
Okay, so this is the thing that everybody says, but you do know there is sushi that exists that is not raw fish. Not
What-
all of it consists of raw fish.
What is it? Tell us. Once I've had, I think, vegetarian sushi. That was the only sushi I had, and that was it, by the way.
Vegetarian sushi. So you had some chopped veg.
I don't
You
know.
had a
Yeah,
salad?
something, but it just was rolled and looked nice, and yeah, it was sushi apparently.
The majority of people that I speak to that don't like sushi are like, yeah, I just had it from Tesco once. That does not count as trying sushi.
Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's like if I'm going out and I'm going to pay money to go to a restaurant, I'm getting something which is like a big burger. I'm getting a steak.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Yeah.
some tiny little thing. You know, I want something substantial, man. Like I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Honestly. I know your steak obsession. I do love a good steak. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think you guys need to come up north. We've got some really good places, and they're about half the price of the London ones as well.
Are you referring to Kona, Jabir?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I've been there once. I think they've changed it quite a lot actually since I went. They're always kind of doing new things there, aren't they?
He's just
Updating the
refurbed.
menu.
He's done a full refurb of the entire place during lockdown. So he's taken good use of the downtime. So I'm quite excited to go back once we're allowed to go in again. Because that guy, he knows what he's doing with food. It's above and beyond anywhere I've eaten before. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably the best place I've eaten. When in terms of like fine dining, halal and quality, like obviously you can get a dirty munch somewhere, and you know a big burger is a big burger, and you can get something with 3 patties instead of 1, and that's good. But like if you want that like classy sort of meal, I think there's nowhere been better.
It was definitely missing in the northern market, that's for sure.
Yeah. What's it like down south for you guys? Is there a lot of like options for that kind of food?
So many.
Yeah, there are so many actually. I can't think of what my
favourite
favourite one.
hobby. Yeah, I was just going to say my favourite hobby is eating out in London, pretty much. But there's so many places, like cuisine-wise, restaurant-wise, like, you know, you can get just casual or like really fancy. There's so much choice.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really interesting. Like, I think if if we were 10 years older and we're going through things and we would start, you know, we're into our late 20s and early 30s 10, 15 years ago, we'd be pretty stuck for options in terms of where we could go. Like, I think the options have just, you know, exploded. There's been so many more places for like young Muslims to go, especially in the UK. As compared to America, where there was nothing. I was so disappointed when I went out there. I did find a couple of places which had halal food in them, but they're either extortionate or just not very good.
Where did you go in America?
So I went to Midwinter Meeting, so that was Chicago. Also went to North Carolina and to Detroit. There was some nice places in Detroit, to be fair, but in Detroit, everything's so far away. It's not easy to go around. But yeah, North Carolina, just, you know, unless you have family there, don't go there. I think that's. I have family there, so I do need to go there from time to time. But the food there was very, very limited, shall we say. And very unhealthy. Like, I felt unhealthy when I was eating the food. And even when I have like when you have food here and you're like, oh, I'm going for a bit of a bad meal or a cheap meal, I didn't feel that unhealthy here as I did over there, going for what their healthy option was, and I was like, oh, this is not good. But yeah, no, I think it's worth a visit though to places like Chicago, because the city is incredible. They just need to sort out their food options a little bit more. Have you guys been to the States or not?
I have. I've been to New York once actually, and I did land, I think, in North Carolina somehow. Yeah, I think I had a connection flight there. So like now that you were saying it, I was just like smiling. But yeah, I've got family in New York. I've got a brother there. And I went to visit him, and I do agree with you with regards to the food choices and things like that. It's very much unhealthy. It's exactly what you said, and the portions were huge.
Yeah, I mean, you could get nice food. There was nice food there, but it was so expensive. I was just thinking, I'll just go back to Bradford, and this is less than Kona, which is, you know, the absolute best place that in probably north of England, is less than these standard sort of places in the States, which was like, I thought it was a bit crazy. I don't know if that's just because they have a higher cost of living and maybe taxes and things are lower. That might be part of it. I don't know how things kind of work that way, but it was just interesting to see.
How did you guys feel about like things on Monday or this weekend opening up? I can talk about myself. I'm very excited that I can go and have a haircut finally.
I'm growing my hair out, so I'm not too fussed, which is why I've got the. I don't know. It's still in that awkward phase, so it's that phase where I don't know whether.
Are you gonna put it in a man bun later on?
I had the man bun before.
Oh, have you? Okay.
I had it in uni, but I didn't understand how to condition and look after long hair back then. She's laughing. She understands. Okay. She understands the difficulties.
I'm sure she does.
It's a struggle. Let me tell you, it is a struggle.
Okay. So, any tips for like someone who's looking to grow a man bun?
Yeah, Hawa, we need to hear this now.
For luscious hair, I would say honestly, I wash it like a couple of times a week. And like you don't need to wash it every single time you shower, and yeah, condition it and use good shampoo, and that's pretty much it. Use a sulfate-free shampoo so it doesn't strip your hair of all the natural oils.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Somebody asked me the other day on Q&A, "What's your hair care routine?" And I thought, oh my god, I'm the worst person to ask because I just have good genes and that's it. There's nothing special that I do otherwise.
Yeah, no, it's a real struggle because my hair was really long. It was probably down to about my shoulder length, and I would have it up and stuff. But it got very greasy once it gets longer, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was trying to use oils and stuff to kind of just condition the scalp because you have to do stuff for the scalp, don't you? But obviously, well, she has no idea. But I didn't know which kind of shampoo to use, which conditioner to use, how often to do it. So in the end, it got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I just went in and I just got it chopped.
For it not to get greasy, I usually only condition the ends. I don't condition my roots.
Right.
Or if you condition it all.
Now the secrets are coming out.
Yeah, these are my top tips. Condition the ends, or condition it all first and then shampoo, and then you won't get a greasy residue. And wash twice.
Wash it twice? What with the...
Wash it twice because the first wash, like with shampoo, the first wash like lifts all of the dirt and the oils, and then the second wash actually gets it out of the hair.
Damn. So you learned something today, man.
I just learned that actually recently, so yeah, that's the trick to lovely, luscious hair.
See, I
actually naturally do that, but I didn't know the benefit for it. I just naturally washed my hair twice.
You're just fluking it.
I didn't even know it. This is the first I've heard. Like the only person I spoke to about hair is Dr. Ansar, because his hair is just on another level. He's using some oil, which I need to look into. Level. Yeah, I think he's got good genes and he's got a good routine as well. So that's something that I need to definitely engage on. My hair's quite thin actually, which is quite annoying when you're trying to grow it out because if it gets a little bit wet, you can see through. So that's kind of my struggles. Ahmed's hair's quite nice and thick though. He should grow it out, bro.
Yeah, if I did grow my hair, it would literally look like Mo Salah's hair. I tried before, and I don't think it suits me at all. Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about having a hair transplant if you needed it, if you started balding?
I would do it.
Would you?
Yeah.
You know what? Apparently, I think 60% of men suffer from balding at some point in their life. It's really, really high.
I think I would do it.
I think I would do it too, but I was more thinking, not lately. I think when I first started getting silver hairs or like white hairs, I was thinking about like dyeing them. Especially a lot of my friends at uni or like at work used to just say, like, look at them and say, "Wow, you're really getting white hairs early on." And then I used to think, okay, like I don't see them that bad, but I thought I'd do something about it. But yeah, like I haven't, and I'm quite happy with them right now. I think I've embraced the aging look. Someone was telling me the other day there's like a shampoo which you could apply onto your hair. It's not like a hair dye, it's an enhancement. By the way, I had no idea this conversation was going to turn into talking about hair care and like things you would do to your hair, which is funny. But yeah, so I haven't done that, but maybe that is something I could look into in the future.
Yeah, I think we were, where were we? We were in Istanbul, and everywhere you looked there was guys with the net, the thing on the back of the head
Yeah,
because they've had it done.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that would be a
And
really
not
cool holiday, man. You just sit around in coffee shops having loads of Turkish delight tea, some biscuits, have some nice steaks because
Yeah.
The Turkish dollar, what's it called? Is it lira? Turkish lira or dollar? Whatever it's called.
I think it's Lira,
I think it's
yeah.
lira, right?
yeah.
It's quite
Yeah.
weak compared to the pound, so you can go to
Hmm.
Etsy, not Etsy, what's it called? Salt Bay's
Restaurant.
restaurant, and it's
Mm.
super cheap.
That's right, yeah.
But it's the same meat. It's a good meat. So you could go for a nice little holiday. A week, 10 days, get it sorted. And by the time you come back, you're getting a bit of growth back in, so no one knows.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I hear Nusrat is opening in London soon. How
Ooh,
exciting!
that'll be
I
interesting.
think I saw actually where it was opening. It's somewhere
I,
in Knightsbridge.
yeah, I think they just bought a building.
It's like a corner building because I saw the signs outside and his like silhouette doing this and all that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on Park Lane, somewhere around there. But yeah, that should be.
You know what?
It's
That's a
gonna be
real flex. Not just
extortionate.
not just opening in London. He's bought somewhere on Knightsbridge to do it. Like that's a real
Oh yeah,
flex. There's a difference between yeah, I'm just gonna rent a place and we're gonna make some steak. The guy's gone and bought the
Yeah.
building. That's
He
when you
has
really know.
blown up. He has blown up.
Yeah, it's crazy how like something just as simple as pouring salt has made the guy just like become
Yeah.
so Insta famous and social media famous. Same with like singing dentist, like a few silly videos, which is why I'm really keen for Ahmed's TikTok to now that I've heard about it. Now I'm really keen for him to start, posting them publicly.
Ahmed likes a quiet life.
Nice try. um, yeah, I have had a lot of people say, to be honest, just go for it. Make one of them public and see the engagement you get from it. But I guess I enjoy making them because I know no one else can see them. And it's like, yeah, I can just make them as fun as I want to and as funny as I want to without feeling embarrassed. But they somehow do end up in people's phones that I didn't expect them to end up in. But it's fine. It's okay as long as it's not out there. Yeah.
I think it's a bit of
I'll
fun.
take your points on board, though. Thank you. I will maybe consider it.
Who knows? You might have come onto the next level of TikTok fame, and then you can retire early on your proceeds.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows?
I think, guys, we've just come up to 42 minutes. We'll call that a day for part one.